Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We're All Psychic. And yes, I still think we're all psychic. Today is June 9th, 2022. I have a few announcements and stuff that I'd like to share with you. First of all, I was invited to be a part of this company called Winno. And with this company, Winno, what we do, or what I will be doing, is sending out text messages for $5 a month. Like, I'll be sending them a lot too. And I put the link to my Winno in the description of the whole podcast, and I'll also put it in the description of this podcast. You do get your first 7 days free. So, hey, you got nothing to lose except maybe gain a little knowledge, hopefully. So, we've got a lot of stuff coming up in the podcast the rest of the month. Let me tell you about it. I know you're so excited. I'm so excited. Tonight, we are going to interview Sheila, the angel lady, about seeing auras. And she has taught me a lot about seeing auras, and she wants to teach you now. We did have a podcast with Jennifer Love. We've had to reschedule a few times, and we have got it rescheduled for the 16th of June. And on the 11th, I'm so excited. We are having Ryan back. If you have been listening to the podcast, Ryan has been on a couple of them way back when. And he was in the Stranger Danger podcast. He was the first total stranger I interviewed for this podcast. And then we did another one with his friend Sam, who was also on the podcast, called No Limitations with Sam and Ryan. Or with Ryan and Sam. I can't remember how I put the names. And so he's going to be on Saturday, and he's going to tell his journey since the last podcast. So it's very exciting to me that he's coming back. And then on the 12th, we have Elizabeth Monroe, who is a well-known psychic reader. And she's going to teach us all kinds of cool stuff. I can't wait to meet her. It's going to be amazing. Let's see. And on the 15th, we have Tom. I've never met Tom. He will be fabulous. I think we're going to have, other than that, we have a woman named Michelle coming on the 23rd. And in between these, I plan on, doing some more of those lessons in the tarot, where I explain symbols and colors. So yeah, those will be video podcasts, and I'll get to them. And I love doing those. They're really fun. And I kind of put on the spot and kind of just, but it's a lot of fun. And you know what else is fun? Doing this podcast and teaching and learning from all these wonderful guests. Something else I wanted to talk about on this podcast is my health issues. Yay, let's talk health. That's what old people do. I'm old. I'm 47. I talk about my health. But in this case, I have let's put it this way. I've been sick all my life. If you've listened to the podcast, you've heard me say that. And I've always looked for a root cause. I've been diagnosed with lots of mental illness. And I've been diagnosed with all kinds of bone issues and all kinds of this and that and lots of stomach, everything. Everything's wrong. But I finally got a diagnosis for what it all is yesterday. It's called EDS. And it's a connective tissue problem that is a chromosome disorder. So we'll take this one step as it comes. And it's pretty painful so far, and I've always had it apparently because it's a chromosome issue. And I'm looking at possibly chiropractic care for it. The doctor who diagnosed me with this has a great plan, and I really would like to do it, but I can't afford it right now. So I'm looking into ways I might be able to. Let's call it credit cards or help from family. So we'll see if that happens. And I also took the results up to my regular general practitioner so he can see for himself if he agrees. Well, that's how I do in the medical field. So, there's a lot of relief to find something I knew was there all my life. And that's the reason I didn't have biological children. I always felt like there was a root issue, and a lot of my life is going with my feelings because feeling, as in the psychic feelings. I really felt when I say I feel like it wasn't just kind of a gut feeling. It was like, I feel like I know this. I know this is not something that is just developed, or I didn't feel like it was mental illness either, exactly, because of all the other issues. And, one other thing that I reflected on a lot is that other people I've met who have been diagnosed with schizophrenia don't usually, and then they seem to really have it, they don't seem to really know it, or they can't identify when they have symptoms, or they refuse the diagnosis altogether. But I was the one who was like, I have this, I have all these symptoms, treat me. And, it did take 10 years before I found a psychiatric medication that was able to give me my life back. At least 10 years. And none of the doctors could figure out why it was so hard to treat me. And now we know. Because I didn't have schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. These are side effects of EDS and tissue deterioration. So what next, guys? Well, we just keep going. That's what we do. And listeners, thank you so much for always listening. I can't wait for these podcasts coming up. And I just love you guys for listening and watching when I do videos, and for being there for Misty and me, supporting the podcast. And hey, check out Winno. I'm going to be texting like a mad lady. So yeah, I'd love to send you texts, and you can reply to them too. I'm going to ask questions, and I would love for you to text me back and answer. So yeah, let me look into it if you want. 7 days free. What you gotta lose? Yeah. Your mind? Nah, you've already lost that. If you're listening to this podcast, you're just trying to get it back. And lastly, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. I'm also an advisor on Everclear under the name Lisa P. Leesa, with the initial P. And that's everclear.com. It's also an app. So listeners, everybody out there, people who aren't listening but are psychically listening and don't know it yet, maybe they do. Maybe they have antennas and they go whoop, 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 tune into that internet station. Hey, you don't know. There's anything is possible, right? Anything. Y'all have a great night, day, evening, morning, wherever you may be, and peace out. Bye.